Let us begin, if we must, by acknowledging what a remarkable spectacle RuPaul's Drag Race has become in our era of manic televisual frenzy. Like a modern-day carnival where pageantry and persona vie for top billing with emotional confessions and savvy comedic timing, it manages to capture the attention of viewers who otherwise might have considered such flamboyance and indulgence unworthy of serious consideration. And yet, this program, replete with all the cunningness of a capitalist contrivance, has etched itself into the marble halls of pop culture pantheon. However, it would be remiss to ignore the most incongruous aspect of this charismatic empire, that the eponymous RuPaul, founder, figurehead, and final arbiter of all things drag, sits loftily in judgment without once throwing her own wig into the ring. She is the feudal lord surveying her dominion, offering minor boons and major banishments from her cathedra of critique, while contestants scurry about performing lip syncs for their lives. This might just possibly be considered a benign monarchy, if monarchy were in any sense benign, except for the fact that the show trades so heavily in demonstrating the grit, the craft, and the struggle of drag, while its maestro stays forever above the fray. In that sense, the question that rattles around one's mind uninvited, like a persistent poltergeist, is obvious. Should not RuPaul herself descend from her gilded pedestal and compete in every single round? Is that not in fact the point of the entire exercise? That she is the very embodiment of the standard to which these aspiring queens are meant to adhere, and presumably surpass, if they are so bold. Indeed, from the vantage of fairness, if one can even speak of fairness on reality television, it seems an almost comical oversight that the show's titular matriarch remains perpetually untested. The brand, the show, the entire spectacle is built on the premise that RuPaul is the ultimate expression of drag excellence. If the entire subculture is one extended runway, one flamboyant coliseum in which only the most regal queen emerges triumphant, then logic, or even a modicum of gall, would demand that RuPaul step into the ring and demonstrate in the flesh why she is the grandest gladiator of them all. There is something, let us say, decidedly authoritarian about presiding over an endless tournament of challenges, whether they be improv sketches, comedic roasts, or high-concept runway categories, without ever subjecting oneself to the same trials. The unspoken assumption behind RuPaul's permanent exemption might be that she is already a proven champion, that her status is not up for dispute, that she has paid her dues in an era less enamored of drag. This is the narrative accepted by her adoring crowd, like priests brandishing holy relics to the reverential faithful. But is this historically validated or merely accepted dogma? Has anyone in the sanctum of the main stage had the audacity to say, "Well then, Mother Ru, if you're so supremely polished, let's see you sashay down that runway right now and show these upstarts how it's done, with the same resources, the same time constraints, and the same excruciating pressure"? The loyal viewer might protest, but of course RuPaul is above reproach. That's the brand, that's the tradition. Yet, tradition is so often but a flimsy veneer draped over convenience. It is a tradition, too, that certain sorts of rulers never see the battlefield, that popes never recant, that critics of monarchy are imprisoned, and that the watchers remain unwatched. Might it not be more compelling, more thrilling, indeed more honest, if we are to see a star among stars, that RuPaul voluntarily, nay, forcibly compete in the same precarious challenges, lip-sync in the same vulnerable humiliations, and display the very dauntlessness she insists these younger queens must? And consider the glorious cinematic possibilities. RuPaul standing in line with the rest of the contestants, dripping with rhinestones and nerve, murmuring not instructions, but incantations of self-encouragement. Can she sew under punishing time constraints, or might she catch the dreaded hot glue meltdown that has claimed so many contestants? Would her comedic banter withstand a real judges' panel, or would the acidity of a harsh Michelle Visage critique wilt her composure? Would her legendary strut surpass the unstoppable boldness of, say, a newly discovered wunderkind? Here we would see the apotheosis of competition, a cosmic clash of queens, a true Olympian struggle wherein the host is not so impervious to the slings and arrows of critiques. Is this not the essence of a contest? That no one, not even a beloved titan, is immune from the rules? One is forcibly reminded of sports league owners who, believing themselves unstoppable, sit in the owner's box unscathed while the players sprint, bleed and bruise on the pitch. A true test of brilliance would require RuPaul to join the ranks on that runway, forced to scavenge for materials in chaotic design challenges, strain her memory for lip-sync lyrics, and summon comedic grit in an improvised comedy sketch. Every runway walk would matter, every sachet and every chantée contested on the same terrain as her underlings. Then, if she truly is the greatest drag performer in living memory, there would be no better vantage to prove it. She would dominate round after round, if in fact she can. And that, dear friends, is precisely the tantalizing question. Does RuPaul, in all her divine glamour, still possess the nimbleness, the creativity, the starfire to crush the competition without any production illusions, preferential edits, or the gilded aura that attends Queen Mother status? Could Ru best the incorrigible inventiveness of a new generation hungry to dethrone her? The essence of competition is not idly to stare from on high. It is to brave the same battlefields and abide by the same hazards. If RuPaul is to remain the imposing monolith in drag culture, she must prove, publicly, programmatically, and under sweaty-lash real-time conditions, that she is everything she pronounces from the judge's dais. Only then can she truly retain the throne, ennobled not merely by reputation or nostalgia, but by renewed victory. Only then would the audience behold a drama whose authenticity is as undeniable as it is electrifying. And should she falter? Should she come face to face with a foe whose younger, sharper claws prove too formidable? Then and only then would we witness a new era of drag monarchy, an authentic changing of the guard where the best among them legitimately ascends. But until RuPaul deigns to, or is forced to, compete with the mortals, let us not pretend we are seeing a complete demonstration of drag supremacy. We are but onlookers in a fawning gallery, hearing constant incantations that RuPaul is the goddess of her domain. And though she may well be, how much more riveting, how much more honest, and how much more historically verifiable it would be to see her face those same perils, glue gun in hand, sewing machine jammed, eyelashes askew, comedic instincts tested. Then, if she triumphs, one can wholeheartedly proclaim, she is indeed the once and future queen. And if she stumbles, well, there's no shame in that, for the proving ground of drag would show that greatness yields inexorably to evolution, even for the mother of all queens.